Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. I'm back out here on the Buffalo Hole for another day, and boy, we got a change in weather. It's a north wind. It's chilly. We had a ton of rain the last 2 days, so hopefully we'll catch something today. Got my usual setups. Right now I'm throwing a Capperlin topwater frog. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate all the support. My name's Alan, and you know me, I enjoy fishing. Hey, hopefully you guys caught the episode of Bass After Dark the other night. So my buddies Ken Duke and BTC and all the fellas. It's a pretty good show, good stuff. Let's take a look at this frog. Check that out. Nice color. It's got like a little keel on the bottom of it. And this thing casts a country mile. So I've just been bombing it around. This cold front came through, so I'm not sure exactly how this is going to affect the fishing. But we're certainly going to give it a shot today. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. The water temperature hasn't changed, just that the front blew through. A frog, not a frog, a turtle stuck his head up right there. Let me see if I can get a better angle on a cast here. It was right through here where I just got obliterated on that frog by Livingston Lures. There, we got a bite of the breeze. That's one thing with Texas, it's windy in March and in April. I won't get into all the dust storms I had to endure as a kid growing up in the Lubbock area and then teaching in Amarillo. Crazy. Hope you guys' fishing adventures are going fantastic. I know my buddies up north, the water's starting to open up. My buddy Frank Scalish has just been whacking fish up there in where he's at. Look at that. I stopped at where that turtle is. Oh man, it's just so much fun to fish. And the thing is, on a day like this, nobody's going to be out here with this crazy weather. It just makes it all that much better. All right guys, on this Arkie Tube system, it's this cool little setup. You could put a weight in, or a rattle in there. He's not a very big guy, but check that out. That was pretty cool. There he is. That was a lot of fun. Let's get this guy back where he needs to be. Man, I can hear those dogs barking and then the coyotes barking off in the distance, because they hear the dogs barking. Usually they do that at night, not here early in the morning. All right guys, so the little weight system is down here, so I've got it squished in there. You just got to, you know, make room for the hook there. And then right here, when you weedless rig it, bring it up through, and weedless set right on this little flap up here on the top, right there. You can barely hook it, and this thing works great. It's a little mangled now because of that fish, but trust me, it works. Watch his castability. Boom. So when I crack a tube, I let it sink. That little rattle system's got some weights in there, and it provides some nice weight. And then I just pop it, count to 5, reel up the slack, and then pop it, count to 5, reel up the slack, and then sometimes on the slack line I'll just shake it and let it do its thing. Yep, it acts pretty much like a tube. Oh. That was a log. It was a good thing this is rigged up weedless. There's some branches. I was pulling it through. I can feel them like clink clink. So you get the hook on there, thread the little rattle. The rattle's got the weight for it. To expose it or weedless, pinch it through, and then just go have fun with it. I'm just doing my fan casting. I was at the bank and then started moving over. That little guy was kind of right off that point there. But it acts just like a typical tube. It's got that great action. It's a lot of fun to throw. Well, I tell you what, this wind. Last time, the wind was blowing straight into my face. Now it's at my back, coming straight out of the north. I'm not in shorts today, that's for sure. Ooh. There we go. Just doing my normal technique. Right off that point where the other one was. This is his buddy on this Arkie Tube from Arkie Lures, my neighboring state over there in Arkansas. Talked to them at the Bassmaster Classic and the Expo booth. They're such great people. There he is. That's not a bad fish right there. That's a good one. All right, guys, here he is. It's not another big one, but still fun to catch. Under the dock he goes. So there it is. I've got it rigged up there. Oops, the little chamber there where you slide in the rattles. They also work as weights. And then you just get her rigged up and fish away. Right here at the dock, guys, on my Bomber 24A, one that I custom painted. I put eyes on there. Looks like he swiped at it. Check that out. More like a snag. Hey, but it counts. Testing that lure out. Look at that paint job. I don't paint anything, but I did a decent job with it. Not a big guy, but he was still brave enough to hit a lure almost as big as he is. Okay. Take a look at this thing. I love the Bomber 24A. So one came and I painted it, and I got the orange underneath, some white, a little bit of kind of dark gray on the back, and on the inside it comes with like a little flash hologram. And then I put just a little bit of nail polish, glitter nail polish on the front and back, and it looks pretty good. Yeah, she looks pretty good. That was pretty fun to catch that on that. Oh. Oh man, so I may try to paint a few more. So the Bomber 24A, I just pull the line kind of tight, and then I just drag her down, and then I shake, and then I drag her down, shake, and then I let it sit. It comes up real slow, and then I drag her down. And you can do the twitch if you want, but I really like doing this drag and just kind of let it sit there, and then I just shake it. And it just comes up really slow. And it backs up a little bit. I guess it comes up at a decent speed. I've got somewhere I put some lead wire around the hooks, and then I wrap it with some braid, and it comes up even slower. Oh, we're starting to get a little bit of rain. Ooh. It rained a bunch this morning, and I thought I had a bite there. A little bit of cabbage. Rained a bunch this morning, and then cool weather was supposed to push through and be windy. That's pretty much what it is. All right, guys, on this Coda Lures jig and this red bug color, but he just cracked it over off the end of that tree. Now he's got me up under the dock. I've got a Lunker City craw on the back of this thing. Man, that's a nice fish right there. All right, there he is, man. That's a nice fish right there. Off you go into the water. Nice. Check out those clouds up there, man. It's moving in. So here's this jig, guys. Look at that little karate crawl on the back of that. Holds on there nice. It's this red bug color. So I met these guys. They had a booth at the Bassmaster Classic, and they're from here in Texas, and they hand tie, and they had a nice little setup there. And I was talking to the guy about how they make these, and I was impressed with them. Uh-oh, what do I got here? A tangle? Come on. Really? Yeah, so I had a nice conversation with them, and had some really nice colors. And I think it's an owner jungle hook. I know he said jungle hook, and that's a fantastic hook. I've used that before. And you can see it right in there. Man, that's a nice hook right there. Look at that color. So go check them out, Coda Lures. All right, guys, check this out. This is one of these Jackhammer Minis, a Z-Man Jackhammer Mini. And I can't remember the color on this. It's like a little bluegill, some chartreuse. I've got it on one of these Berkeley power stingers. These little power bait power sting. Ooh, look at that thing. So we're gonna bomb this around. I've never thrown it. This will be the maiden voyage in this, whoo, even in that crazy wind. Look at that. Now I like these because bladed jigs, you can run them along the bottom. If you crank them real slow, you can run them mid-depth, and then you can run them across the surface too. Same thing with a MEPS inline spinner with a nice trailer on it. So you can crank, and then stop. Yeah, that looks good. And the more you use it, the more hunting it does. So now here I know there's a lot of cabbage, so I'm gonna run this above the cabbage and then I'll let it die into the little pockets. Let it die down in there. Yeah, this thing feels cool. Yep, and I trimmed the skirt up a little bit there. All right. Bombs away. Send it. Ooh. That was a nice cast. Way out there, wind dated. There we go. But she got popped right there. On this Jackhammer Mini. Oh, and it is a Mongo crappie. Check that out. That is so cool. All right, guys, there we go. Check out that beautiful crappie right there. In she goes. Oops, a little flat-sided and under the dock. Man, that was a lot of fun throwing that thing. Here it is right here. Just that nice color. Let's get back out there. And so this one, I wouldn't cranking it very hard, so it was down near the bottom. So just do my crank, 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 slow, then kill it, and then crank, 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 kill it. Essentially, you let it do the work for you. Some people like to burn them. I just like to do a nice steady pace since we're still early in the spring. All right, guys, so I'm gonna throw one of these V&M Bladed jigs. Their claim to fame here is once you get your plastic on, you can't pull it off. And I can't get mine off. It's a Berkeley Power Stinger, and it's on there. So I've never thrown one of these before. I talked to these guys at the Classic as well, and they really like their product. So I got a few of them. I've got one on a Jean LaRue Biffle Bug, also turns. Ooh. Yeah, that looks good. All right, let's put some work into it here. See if we can catch something. It's got a nice vibration. Cast night cast really nice in that wind. I could feel it coming through cabbage. Oh yeah, that looks great. Yeah, I think some of these tournaments may get canceled due to the weather. So I'm not sure how it's all going to pan out. I know Red Crest is going on. They may not cancel that. One of the Opens is going on. And I know up north, my buddies that fish up there, they're having the ice is open or out, so now they can get out there. So I've been seeing some of them catching stuff, which is really cool. this thing is really nice. So they're gonna start whacking smallmouth, pike. I think North Dakota yak angler, he might have made this video a little bit further back, but he put out a video of him catching some muskie. Ooh, nope, false alarm. Yeah, this thing is cool. It's got a really nice vibration. And we know that the trailer's not going to come off of there. Off that point's where I've been catching some. There's a little bit of cabbage there. Alright guys, on this V&M Bladed jig, what do we got here? Come on. That's a nice bass. Check this guy out. Right there in the top of the mouth where he should be. Good stuff right there. There you go, buddy. Yeah, not too shabby. Pretty cool. Bait and the trailer didn't even move. All right, we're gonna throw the drop shot a little bit, see how that goes. All right guys, on this V&M Bladed jig with a Jean LaRue biffle bug as a trailer. I turn it sideways and I've got this black and blue color. Man, check that out. It's gonna be a good fish. There we go, up and over. Nice. All right guys, there she is. Man, this is a nice fish. Check that out. There you go, buddy. So that's it. This is at V&M, and you can't pull the trailers off. It's got that cool little keeper system there. Really, it's just a whole ridge. And this is a cool color, that sparkle black blue. Now a lot of times I'll trim these little legs off of it to give it a little bit more action, but that's a biffle bug. I turn it sideways. That tail just rocks in the water and looks awesome. All right, let's keep it going. All right guys, right here on this V&M Bladed jig, right in the cabbage. He just came in there and just whacked it with this Jean LaRue biffle bug as a trailer. There he is. Little guy, healthy guy. There you go. That's it. It's in kind of this black purple flake, and then the skirt on this is black and blue with some gold, and I trim it up because you don't want that to affect the action back there, the skirt. So I could probably trim it a little more too. All right, we're gonna head over to the dock to fish a little bit more, and then we'll come up with another plan. All right guys, I got a drop shot here on the old Bass X. This is probably one of my favorite rods. I know it's an intro rod for them, for St. Croix, but man, they're just so dang durable. I like them and the Mojos. I've got the Avids, Victories, and for some reason that Mojo and that Bass X, I really enjoy them. So on this, I've got a self-poured worm, 6-inch worm, black, And I'm just giving it a shot and see if I can catch anything on some of these self-poured worms I did. I also did some craws. So we'll see how this turns out. I'm not sure how buoyant it is. I just cast it out there, put a little Pro-Cure on the, ooh! Holy cow, right there. Look at that. Oh man, he's going crazy. On my little self-poured worm, he just trucked it. Man, this is so cool. I'm all geeked out. There it is. I'm all geeked up on it. Oh, look at that. That is so awesome. I can't remember whose drop shot little system I'm using. I don't know if it's VMC's or whose, but it's somebody's. All right, check it out. Hey, he's not too bad. He's got a little lip damage. Looks like he might have been caught before. Ooh. All right, here it is. Oh, and I still have some Pro-Cure on there. Nose hook, see that little system? Let's see how buoyant this is. Oh yeah, look. It'll just hang there. Look at that. That's awesome. Sense of accomplishment, happiness, joy, whatever you want to call it. That was fun. So I've got them in different colors, and I also have some little dinky worms with a curl in them, a natural bend in them. And we'll see how that pans out. Drop shot's probably my weakest area of fishing. That and what do they call that, moping with sonar, because I don't have any sonar, but it's just essentially throwing a swim jig on like a ball head or little jig head minnow. But it's fun to do the drop shot when I get a chance to. Oh, there, oh, I had a bite, guys, and nothing happened. Does he have it? Oh my gosh. He snapped the whole thing. That had to have been a catfish. It was just a whoonk. Oh my gosh, guys. That was all she wrote. I mean, snapped her clean off. Sheesh. Jeez. I mean, it was just boonk, and that was it. I set the hook. Really, you just gotta reel into him, and then bang. Crazy. All right, guys, on the Bomber Lightning Spoon. I don't throw spoons very much, but I've had this thing in here, and I'm like, man, I gotta try this spoon out. I just bomb it out there and just kind of yo-yo it. Oh, check it out. It's a nice crappie. Check this out. That is cool. On the Bomber Lightning Spoon. All right, here he goes. He's a little bloodied up. There he goes. There it is, a lightning spoon. I just don't really fish much with spoons. Up in Iowa I do quite a bit. I got my little jigging spot, but like this, I just pop it. I put a little crane swivel on the end of it, and then another split ring. So when it falls, it does this really cool action. And then you can also reel it in really slow, and it'll flutter just like a spoon. You can kind of see it coming through right there. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Check that out. That's it right there. It's good stuff. Alright guys, I'm gonna throw this little pocket fry from Mr. Twister. They don't make them anymore, but it is just a fat, juicy little blob. Nothing else on the lightning spoon, so we're gonna bomb this guy around. And I'll just kind of hop it and swim it. I try to stay true to the Ned Katie, Ned Rig style and just kind of float it through the water column, but I also like to bounce it along the bottom, just like everybody else does. But I got one of these Z-Man weedless Ned heads on there, but I prefer the short shank. Like Great Lakes Finesses had got a really nice one. It's less apt to get hung up if you got a really short shank on there. I'm still trying to figure out what in the heck just destroyed my drop shot setup. There are some big catfish in here, and unless it was a mega bass, because I mean donk, and then it was instantly. Let's check out that pocket fry. Look at that. All right guys, it's gonna wrap it up for me for today. Boy, it's getting nasty out here. The wind's howling, it's spitting. I've caught some nice fish today, testing some lures. So even when a cold front coming through here in Texas, you can still catch them. You just gotta switch it up and try different things. Oops, too big of a splash there. Yeah, that looks good in the water. That biffle bug turned sideways. That other one I caught, just right off that point. I've caught a bunch of them right in there. The wind caught that one, but like I was saying before, this you can set it on the bottom and drag it through. You can fish it in the middle of the water column, or you can fish it up high depending on how much you crank and angle of your rod and all that. So there's a ton of cabbage down there, and so I'm bringing it. I kind of know where it is, so when it first lands, I'm letting it sink, and then I'm bringing it up over it, and then I'm letting it dive down. And the thing is, whenever you feel it get stuck on something, just yank it through and then give it a pause. And a lot of times you'll get a fish there. And then if you want it to go up along the surface for like a topwater, just crank it a little quicker. Now, some of these baits and trailers are gonna cause some lift. So you gotta keep that in mind. course, if you burn it, it's gonna come up closer to the surface. So I'm throwing this on. Everything today. 12-pound braid sunline to 12-pound fluoro sunline. But that's gonna wrap it up for me for today. I'm gonna swing by this little gas station that sells some lures. They've got some bombers in there. They got a Foxy Mama colored square bill, Bomber Square A, and you never see those really around in that with the old school kind of glitter on them, so I'm gonna get those. And then watch some of the basketball tonight, NCAA tournament. Have some fun with that. But thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I appreciate it. Until next time, I will see you then. Bye-bye. Now get out there and get your lures wet.